GGRC.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of GGRC. I'm RC, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit differently. Now, normally I do these checking out videos and it's just one game. We're just talking about one thing and that's it. But I've got a lot of games to talk about, guys, and I don't think I have the time to do a video for each one. I got 6 different games for you to learn about here. Everything from like brawlers to, Dark Souls type of games to racing games. Like, there's a lot in here. So I figured, hey, it'd be a cool idea to actually throw all 6 into one video here. I can tell you what I think of them real quick, play a little bit of gameplay along with that, and just go from there. Now, I also want to point out to you guys, if you haven't already done so, I have a giveaway going on this month for December 2018. I will have a link to that video down in the comments and the description, so feel free to click on that and get involved with the giveaway I have going on, because there's a lot of cool stuff that I'll be giving away. But here we go, on with the games. So the first game we're going to talk about today is Deep Sky Derelicts. Now, in Deep Sky Derelicts, you'll be playing a comic book art style roguelike type game with a bit of an old school RPG type of feel thrown in. You take your squad to different sections of the galaxy to do quests. While searching these areas, you'll fight monsters and enemies in sort of a turn-based RPG sort of setup. Of course, during these trips, you'll collect loot, suit up your squad, and you'll get them tougher and more resilient to what space has to throw at you. And yes, space has a lot to throw at you in this game. Now, Deep Sky Derelict shares a lot in common with other roguelikes, but it somehow seems to stand out. I guess I would attribute that to the art style. I actually really dig the art style in this game. I think it's really, really cool. It's this sci-fi look, but also with the comic book thing thrown in, a very, very gritty look. If you're looking for another challenging roguelike to add to your collection, and yes, this one is pretty tough, this is definitely one to check out. So next up we have a brawler type game. It's called I Am the Hero, and I've been playing this on the Switch. It's what I describe as a great trailer game. If you watch the trailer, you know what you're getting into. What you see is what you get, This is a brawler through and through with its own exaggerated style of pixel art thrown in. One thing that does stand out for me in this game, though, is the fact that your character has a ton of different moves that he can do. Of course, you can punch and kick and all the basic stuff, but also you have the ability to do fighting game style movesets. Like, if you're doing a quarter circle to punch or kick, sort of like Street Fighter, you're going to unleash a cool move. Also, there's elbow drops. I love the elbow drops in this game. While you can tell all you need to know from the trailer for I Am the Hero, Piggy Ball is almost the opposite. While the art style and controls seem to, make the game really simple, there is a deep mechanic here that you'll need to learn going forward. And no, I don't mean deep in that Pig in the game is barfing a lot, though yes, Pig will be barfing a lot. So in Piggy Ball, you play as a weird flying pig thing that lives in a world that is even weirder. You go on an adventure to different sets of levels that have you eating pellets and getting fatter as you eat. And while this sounds like a cute idea, it becomes not so cute when you realize you have to barf out all of these pellets to fit into the next room. Well, you're gonna in turn eat more pellets, and of course, don't forget, you gotta re-eat the pellets you barfed up so that you can actually finish the level. This style of gameplay is very arcadey and prides itself on speed, so barf often and barf quick. As if the description isn't weird enough, I'm not sure I could do the craziness of the art in this game justice. It's like someone took an old-style computer game from the early 90s and added as many oddities in it as they could. Flying cat heads, melting ghosts, and several references to older arcade-style games make it something to see for sure. If you're not sold yet, it also comes with a level editor on Steam. Check it out. Next up we have The Surge. Now, The Surge is a Dark Souls style game that came out in 2017. Dark Souls meaning, fighting animations take a bit of time to execute, and the game is all about exploring dangerous areas to progress. The Surge follows this formula amazingly while using a creepy sci-fi aesthetic. While Dark Souls, it usually isn't my cup of tea, I can see why this game has grown on people. This reminds me of those games that came out during the Xbox 360 era, where they were perfectly good games but just didn't get the same attention as their AAA counterparts. The Surge is totally worth a look if you're into this style of game. Now, I was actually sent a copy of The Surge to check out some DLC for the game that recently came out called The Good, the Bad, and the Augmented. However, I did not know going into it that you needed to be pretty powerful to access the DLC, as in, you almost need to complete the game to really get to it. The problem is I just haven't had time to finish the original game and get to the DLC. The DLC is actually accessed in-game, which is a fun approach to adding in DLC. However, I have no way of checking it out until I have a chance to get through the rest of the normal game. I've been meaning to show off Violett for a little while now, and I just haven't been able to come up with a good way to do so. Violett is a very vibrant and strange point-and-click adventure where you play as this girl with purple hair who finds herself trapped in a very odd world that she's trying to escape. Think Alice in Wonderland meets Curse of Monkey Island and you're pretty much there. So while describing the game is pretty simple, showing it off and displaying what makes it a good game is a bit tougher. That is to say, you know, I found myself in several situations where I was looking for answers as to what to do or where to go next. It's not really fun watching someone play a game where they're stuck in the same room for a half hour, and this is what happens to me in Violett most of the time, and saying a half hour is kind of generous. Even with the provided hint system, I've had some trouble getting through certain areas of the game, but this may just be because I'm not very good at point-and-click adventure games, and maybe it's not the game's fault. But while the game has a really fun art style, the gameplay just isn't really clicking with me all that much. Forza Horizon 4 is awesome. The reason I haven't shown it on the channel yet is that I'm not so sure everyone would be interested in seeing it. The problem is that it doesn't really do a whole lot more than you might expect from a racing game. I'm afraid that you guys would see Forza pop up and think, oh yeah, another racing game. You know, there's cars to collect and drive, there's several different race types, you know, like street and off-road. There's a lot of places to explore, but overall, I mean, it's mostly just more Forza. And obviously, this is a good thing for me. I actually really like the Forza Horizon series. 3 was great, and, you know, this new one with 4 is just as fun. The big difference here is that they've made it so that there are seasons you can race in, you know, so, you know, you might do one race in the spring or the summer or the fall, and then later you'll play it in the winter, and it's like a completely new and different race, because you're going to be using a different vehicle, and the terrain is going to change and everything. It's actually really, really cool. For me, I find this to be enough to really keep me interested, and, you know, if you're into racing games, I'm sure you'll feel the same way. So Forza 4, I mean, it's an excellent game that racing fans will adore. So there you have it. Like I told you, 6 different, almost completely different games for you guys to check out and see if it's something that'll be up your alley. All of these offer like a completely different experience in one way or other, so I thought it was cool that it ended up that way. But regardless, as I said at the beginning of the video, don't forget to get involved with the giveaway this month. And really, that's all I have for you today, so GG. I'll see you all next time.
GRC.